I visited, along with showing you some souvenirs or stuff that I got from that country, and I will make some triggers with them as well. Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. I will do this in the chronological order, so I will start from the country I have visited first until pretty much I will go into my adulthood and recent years. Alright, let's begin. So the first country I've ever visited was actually Greece. I was six years old. It was my first time on a plane ever, and unfortunately I couldn't really find anything that I brought with me because, again, I was 6 years old. However, I do have this statue made in Greece. It's a handmade statue of the god Apollo, so I thought that I would use this instead. For the other countries, I always have something that I brought. It's just that I was too young to actually buy something, at the time when I was there. Okay, so I was 6 years old. It was also my first time seeing sea ever because I lived in a landlocked area, and we stayed at this hotel that was actually very close to the Mount Olympus. And if you're familiar with Greek mythology, at least a little bit, you probably have heard about the mountain. It's pretty much where the Olympian gods should reside, or at least the main god, Zeus. And my parents told me that story, and I remember I was just in awe completely. I was, I like, when you're that young, you just take everything as it is, like you don't even question it. And so to me, it was very real. I actually believe that there are gods on that mountain. And then I think we were planning on making a trip there, and I got sick a lot, and till this day I don't even know what it was. Some doctors suspected malaria from a mosquito bite. However, I literally don't know for sure. It might have been something else. I went to a couple of doctors. None of them knew what was wrong with me. I had terrible fevers, and pretty much I spent the entire vacation in bed, unfortunately. Well, I don't know how long we stayed there, but by the end of the trip I got really better all of a sudden, and so I could walk around again like I wanted. And so we took a trip to the Mount Olympus, and I remember it was so cool. Again, like, to me everything was so real, right? So I was like, this is amazing. I'm gonna meet like a couple of gods. I truly believed that like the gods would talk to me. Well, anyway, I families from Greece. Except the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes were terrible. It was insane. I don't know what happened that year. I think that year it was even worse than usual. There were so many mosquitoes. So many. Alright. So let's move on. Okay, then I think, then I went to Croatia for the first time, and I've actually been to Croatia at least 4 times. And the first time I was there, I was around 11 or 12, and I bought these glass birds. They're so cute. I think it's still one of my favorite souvenirs till this day. So I was there again for a vacation with my parents. We stayed at this really calm area that was suitable for families with children. It was near Split, I remember. And that was the first time. The second time we stayed somewhere a little far away, and I don't remember how old I was, to be fair. But I think I was less than 18. I think I was around 15 maybe, or 17. And we went to Dubrovnik as well. And for those of you who don't know, the Game of Thrones was filmed there in a couple of places. So that was really cool to see. I think I liked Game of Thrones at that time, or at least I've heard about it. I don't remember exactly, but I definitely knew of the series. It might have been, I think it was actually the third time I was there. The second time I was 15. I think the third time I was maybe around like 17, 18, I want to say. I think I was 18, yeah. The third time I was 18. That's when I visited Dubrovnik. God. I know all of this. I don't know why I suddenly messed it up, but yeah, we usually stayed there in like a family-friendly hotel. It wasn't loud. The beaches were really nice. Usually the beaches had like tiny little stones, and yeah, it was super fun. And yeah, I would like to go back to Croatia again. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country, really. I think I do have one more thing from Croatia actually, and it is this shell box. I got this in my second visit, actually. It was on the third. You can open it. Usually I put some valuables in it. I took those things out before I filmed. And it's also one of my favorite things. It actually smells of lavender a little bit because it was next to this little bag with lavender, so you can definitely smell the lavender in it. were staying with a family in the suburbs of London, really, in like the outer area. And I think I was 13, and we were staying with different families. And we were supposed to stay in like different pairs. We split our class into pairs, and each pair was supposed to stay at one family. However, our family took 4 kids, and I remember I was there with my former best friend and her new best friend, and it was really awkward because she bullied me before for years, and we didn't really talk at the time, so it was super awkward. But it was fine, I guess. The family was kind of nice. They didn't really like talking to us. We were squeezed in this small room. It definitely wasn't a room for 4 people. They had some kids too, but the kids didn't talk to us either. And the language wasn't really the issue. I think actually the family thought that we spoke worse English than we actually did, because I was 15 and I was already like conversational. I could talk to I could have a conversation, I could talk normally to people, but she only talked to us in like words. Until this day I remembered there was Snoop Dogg on the TV, and we were actually waiting for the bus to come pick us up and take us to the airport, and she just said, "Oh, Snoop Dogg." Oh no, she said, "This man." Ugh. As in like he's disgusting or whatever. I don't even remember what it was, but it was so funny. The second time I went to Scotland, again we stayed with a family that took 4 kids, but they were super friendly. They talked to us regularly. I think I was around 16 or 17. No, I must have been. Wait a minute. No. I think I messed it up. The first time I went to London, I was around 14. Then with Scotland, I was around 15 or 16. those were the simpler times, you know. And then the third time I went to London, to UK. Second time I went to London. Like I said, I was at a language course. I met a lot of different people. I made a lot of friends. I never talked to them ever again after I left the course, but that's okay, you know, that's just how life is sometimes. And it was pretty much my first time actually being out of the country on my own, by myself. It was very scary, but also really fun. So, yeah. And I still remember this girl. She was like the definition of I'm not like other girls. Like, looking back now, I cringe. She was a bit younger than me too. And I don't know why I suddenly remembered her, but yeah, never talked to her again after that language course. Alright, then I went to Bulgaria, and I think I was around 12 or 13, and it was this huge family trip, and till this day I remember that we were only staying at the sea, pretty much at the beach by the sea. We didn't even went into the city too much because the other family members didn't want to, which really sucked, to be fair. Usually if I'm in a different country I want to actually see something else than just, you know, the beach. But yeah, I got this magnet there again. I was really into magnets for some reason, especially like these, you know, like touristy magnets. And I remember that I was always pretending to be a mermaid in the sea because I was watching A2O, just add water at the time. I was pretending to be a mermaid. I was in the sea for like hours and hours. And I remember I was just swimming, and all of a sudden I saw this really small jellyfish next to me. And I freaked out because sometimes, you know, if they touch you, they can leave a mark. Some of them are deadly, you know, they are, is it poisonous? I think it's poisonous, not venomous, poisonous. They can be poisonous. And obviously this small jellyfish wasn't, but I freaked out and I ran out of the sea. And I actually remembered that I had like this huge stripe on my belly, so it probably have touched me. And I thought that, you know, I was freaking out. I thought that I might get sick, but I didn't. It was all good. Oh, by the way, I think it's kind of funny that in English they're called jellyfish. Like, that's not gonna scare anybody. It's just like jelly. In Czech we call them medusas, literally, like from the Greek mythology, because that's actually scary. You know, jellyfish, that's not gonna scare anybody. Medusa sounds scarier. So yeah, that was Bulgaria. Then I went to Spain, and I was technically in Spain twice. I was there once when I was probably 18 or 19, I don't remember. Again, I don't remember how old I was. I went to Mallorca the first time, to the island. That was really fun. I also bought this gecko. I hope it's a gecko. I truly hope it is. It doesn't say. But yeah, they had these beautiful geckos everywhere. It even says here in Mallorca, however, it's kind of broken. I will have to fix that. It's kind of falling apart. I don't want it to fall apart. Well, it's been years since then, but yeah. Now this gecko is on my bookshelf. It's guarding it. It looks so pretty. It looks really beautiful. And So when I was very little, my grandma had this figure of the Sagrada Familia from Barcelona, and I thought that it was a fake building. I didn't know that it was real. I was young. I was maybe 7 or 8, and so I always played it with. I played with it all the time because I pretended like different princesses and kings are living in there. I had no idea that it was actually a real building. So I went to Barcelona and I wanted to see it in real life, and I actually bought this like tiny Sagrada Familia too. It's not as pretty as the one that my grandma has. They bought it in the 90s, and it's like made out of metal and it looks really pretty. This one is made out of plastic, but that was like the next best thing that I could buy. And it was really great to see it in real life. Obviously I've learned that it was real way before I went there. I was maybe 15 when I learned that it's actually a real building. And this is already like the finished building. I think it doesn't look like this right now yet. It should look like this at some point. It has different parts. Some of it is more modern. I'm not really a fan of those parts as much. I really like the old actual parts that were made by Gaudi, basically. So yeah, I was really obsessed with different architecture at the time and Gaudi, and I was learning a lot about architecture. It was one of my favorite things. I was really obsessed with it for quite a while. Okay. Let's go to Barcelona. I really loved Barcelona. It's such a beautiful city, and after I came back, all I ever wanted to read were books set in Barcelona. Like, for example, Shadow of the Wind. I can't remember the author. Today's not a good day for me, apparently. Alright, so, last but not least, you might have heard that I went to Korea. I was there for an exchange program. I already posted videos called Stories from Korea on my channel. It's in Czech though. There are 2 parts. There are English subtitles if you want to watch it or not. You don't have to. So I did make like separate videos about just Korea. I made it specifically for other Czech people, but obviously anybody can watch it. So the only thing that I didn't show you that I got in Korea, I think, is this name stamp. So I already used a lot of stuff that I got in Korea for different triggers. I think this is the only thing that I haven't showed you yet. So let me show it to you. So well, it just fell. So my group, we were taken to this, what was it, like a workshop pretty much, and we could make our own stamps with our names. And it was super cool. Let me show it to you. It didn't break, luckily. It's very sturdy for sure. As you can see, I could only use pretty much Korean letters because it's really small. My whole name couldn't fit in there, so I just put Ella in there. That was the nickname that I used. It's pretty much shorter version of Kayla. It's actually Ella. I used double L's at the time. I don't know really why. But just can't pick one. I just highly recommend for you to watch those videos. Maybe I will remake them in the future. Right now, I don't know yet. You know, remake them and make them in English. I mean, I would like that actually. I think I probably wouldn't post it on my main channel. I'll probably post it for my members only, because there's already a version on my channel for like regular viewers. Oh, by the way, I don't do membership videos right now. I don't. It's just in the future, you know, someday I might do that. Alright, so that will be it for today's video actually, I think. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I will do a part 2 at some point. I don't know, I don't have that many stories. So unless I would forget a lot of stories, I don't really have that many to tell you. Alright, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next